Hello, Dominic here from the Bournemouth Writing Festival. Welcome to another chat with a local writer, author, or writer professional. I'm planning to release one of these every Monday evening around 6 o'clock. So if you want this interview directly into your inbox, then hit the subscribe button, which is somewhere along the bottom, and there's something like an automated email gets sent out if you are subscribed. So make sure you do that. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Robin Lee, who is a children's writer of a book called Gherkins on the Sauce. So hello, Robin.
Hi, Dominic. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for being here. So let's start with your book, Gherkins on the Sauce, which is a wonderful name and your inspiration. So have you always written children's or have you written other genres and decided on children's?
No, this is the first time I've written and published any books. So, yeah, I think probably best if I start from the beginning. So, Gherkins on the Sauce was inspiration from my son, Henry. I think it was about 4 years ago when he was 6. He came up with the idea of these characters all being fruits and vegetables. And there were 3 characters that he dreamt up that really came to the forefront and were the most interesting. And that was 3 gherkins, Bobby, Johnny and Millie. And I just saw that as an opportunity to start a journey with these characters. Like I say, it didn't really start in a writing form. Apart from the fact that I thought, I'd like to turn this into a cartoon. So, yeah, the first elements of Gherkins on the Sauce came in the form of a script for a cartoon. Yeah, that was the start of things. I took that journey pretty much as far as I could, trying to produce animations to bring them to life, and without, I don't know, lots of people. It was taking a very long time to produce anything. So someone suggested to me, well, why don't you turn it into a book? And that's where it kind of really started on the writing side. And it was more the idea that brought me into the genre of children's books rather than anything else. But yeah, it kind of went from there. And
so what's your background then? So is your background in graphic design or drawing or writing, or did you just kind of think, do you know what, I'm gonna give this a go?
My background's in engineering, so completely different, and that, yeah, so I've spent 20 years in engineering, in the aerospace industry, and this is just a completely different direction. And to me, actually, it's really nice because it gives me a creative outlet, and gives me that opportunity to sort of escape from a stressful engineering world in my spare time. So yeah, it does a lot for me, as well as it hopefully does for the children that read it.
So did you go about doing some research, like to make it into a cartoon? Did you kind of look at the market? Did you see how to do cartoons or scripts? Or when you did kind of go into book writing, did you kind of do any research? Did you go, do you know what, I'm just going to see what happens?
Yeah, I did actually. I did some research. I say a lot of it was experience of watching cartoons with my son, and I could see the sorts of cartoons I was really interested in producing. Is that quick, funny, lots going on type cartoons that, and the Gherkins lent themselves to that, as they're quite cheeky characters, and so yeah, that's the way I looked into it. That when I started cartoon front. But when it switched to the writing, yeah, that was a completely different ball game. I was a bit out of my depth, to be honest, to start with. So I put the feelers out to try and find people to talk to. And actually, that is the point at which I discovered Bournemouth Writing Festival appearing. And I'm very grateful for it. Very grateful, because it gave me a really good opportunity to talk to professionals and experienced people in the industry right off the bat. So yeah, I'm very grateful for the opportunities that the Bournemouth Writing Festival has provided.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. That's great to hear. So, as writers, inspiration comes from all sorts of places, and obviously this came from your son. So how much involvement did you bring your son into your creative process, and does he have a credit in your books?
Oh yeah, Henry is definitely involved. He is constantly coming up with ideas, new characters, the direction in which they want the the storyline to go. He definitely has an influence on that. He's got there are bits in the book that are very much about Henry. There are also this parts in the book that talk, that are thanking him. So he gets the credit, and he's certainly involved.
And are there any creative differences, when you have two creators and they clash, because children's imaginations can go wild, and sometimes as adults, sometimes we temper those because we think of structure and we think of what should be in a book, or should be in a narrative. Do you have any advice, I suppose, to other people when they're working with children, when in the creative process, to make sure that their voice is heard but the story still feels structured?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the approach I take is everything goes in the melting pot. If there's an idea, it gets considered, it goes in, and it sits there. We never say no to anything. I think that's one aspect that's really important, because you just never know when it will fit somewhere. So anything I've got all goes in together, and then it all sort of comes out. We have a discussion. I often say to him, look, what do you think about this idea? And if he jumps on it and laughs and he thinks that's cool, then we go for it. So yeah, it's definitely a collaborative approach.
And what a wonderful relationship to have with your son. I think that's just amazing. And then to have that tangible book at the end of it to say, we created this, is probably better than any sales figures or revenue driving. It's just to say, guy, we did this together.
Yeah, he's really proud of it. I'm proud of them. I mean, it's great to have the stories out there. We've had a few sales, some people are enjoying it. I've had some very good feedback so far. All the reviews have been 5-star, which is amazing. So I'm really chuffed how that's working. And we've also had a lot of good response from relatives with children, actually a little bit older as well, with autism. And that has been, something I really didn't expect. It's not something I aimed for, but you know what? It's a really good response, and it's the way the books are laid out, and the illustrations that go with it, that they felt it's not too much on a page, it's not too intensive, and it's short enough to keep the interest. So I'm really chuffed at how many relatives with children with autism have taken interest in the book. So
that's great. And what I love about your books as well, it's not just about the book, it's about the marketing, I suppose, because you do colouring in sheets, and you do activities, which is marketing in the funnel into, or even kind of extending it from outside of the book. So talk to us about your thought process on those kind of additional things.
Yeah, so the marketing side of it is, I'm independent. I'm an independent publisher. So you've kind of got to put your finger in every pie. There's so many aspects to it, and the marketing side of it is, it's very tricky. So I've designed the website myself. I've produced downloadables for people to be able to colour in pictures of the Gherkin's characters. I want to add to that, the advertising that goes with it, the social media aspects. It's all gradually building up and up, and it takes that. There's a lot more to that than I really expected, and a lot harder to get a response from people, surprisingly. But I just keep moving forward with it, and every couple of weeks there's the next thing that happens, and that then gets advertised, and every step of the way you keep informing people, and hopefully they respond to it and start to join in the journey, which is what everyone hopes for. So there's many aspects to a children's book as well that develop, so taking it further than just a reading, just a book, and creating an audio book as well. So Fork in the Road, which is book number 1, is now available as an audio book, and we're currently working on book 2 and 3 to get it to the same position. So every time that step happens, you start to go back into the marketing world to get that advertised and try to get people's interest. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects to it.
It's almost like you're creating a brand then, and that's, I think, where the TV deals and all that kind of stuff comes from, is that once you've created that brand and you've demonstrated where that brand can go to in terms of colouring books, in terms of audio guides, in terms of the physical book as well, then there's so many children's TV presenters, like Mr. Bloom comes to mind, that he went out to lots of schools and did his character. And that's what led to the TV show. So I think you're kind of along the right track, and it takes time. And and I kind of see it as spinning wheels in the sand. And once you get that stone, which then propels you forward, that's when. But you've got to have all of that stuff ready.
You do, and one of the other main aspects of what I'm trying to achieve here is to get more children back interested in books and reading, just to get that balance right. I went into a primary school, local primary school, and spoke to them about the first book, and also spoke to them about writing and everything involved in that. And it was really surprising, the response I got. I went in with an idea that there's lots of children that are really interested in television, cartoons, computer games, what have you. And I took that, I tried to say to them, do you understand, where do you think that comes from? What starts that process? And I took it all the way back to the fact that it's writing, and it's producing a script and coming up with that story. And it all starts from writing. And I think, to be honest, they totally understood that already. So I underestimated them, which was amazing to see. I was really, really pleased with that response. And so, yeah, continuing that theme into more schools is what I'm intending to do. My timing wasn't brilliant. It's been difficult to get into more schools, but I'm really hoping to get into more schools next year in September, and encourage children to appreciate writing. There is actually one of the books, so there is an additional book that goes with the 3 books, that's a Create Your Own Stories book, which gives children an opportunity to write their own stories and draw their own pictures, which seems to be going down all right. A few people have bought them and they've enjoyed them, so
that's a great idea. So do you mean creating their own stories within the world of the Gherkins?
Well, no, so it's based on the theme of Gherkins. I don't know if that's showing the wrong way around because it's mirrored. I'm not sure. And it just gives them an opportunity to produce their own stories, practice their handwriting, practice their drawing, and it's all part of that approach to improving their hand coordination and their muscle memory, to improve their writing and just be part of that development process as well.
That's such a fantastic idea. Honestly, it's brilliant, and it's giving them the tools to write. You've got no excuse. Here's a book, here's a theme, go and write, which is brilliant. So Robin, tell us how you get your books out there.
Well, it takes a lot of hard graft. I took a trip up to London not too long ago, and you kind of just take the opportunities when they come. And I stepped into Hatchards in Piccadilly, and just off the street went and spoke to the manager, I apologise profusely for going in and just speaking to him off the cuff. But he was quite receptive. I showed him the book. I had a copy of the book, which was helpful. And he gave me the contact of the lady that works there, to talk to her about the books. And I was really grateful that he'd even done that. And so I then put an email together to her, and presented the books, gave her a link to the website, showed her what all the gherkins were about, and she really loved it. And so she agreed to put a copy of each of the books in at Hatchards. So hopefully soon they'll be there, available in London.
Amazing. That's incredible. Your books are going to be in Hatchards.
Yeah, I know. I can't quite believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. It's one of those situations. But yeah, no, they've agreed, and I'm absolutely thrilled. So,
well, that is, well, I'll tell you, every single person that's watching this is now going to go up to Hatchards and speak to that manager. Hold on a minute. If you could put Robin Lee's book in, you could put my book in. Amazing. And anywhere else?
Yeah, Gulliver's in Wimborne as well. They have a copy of each of the books. So I'm very thrilled that they were happy to have them on their shelf. Which is amazing. It's so rewarding to see them just on the shelf next to all these amazing children's books. That was really, really amazing feeling.
Now, Robin, we first met in the first writing festival at the networking event. You were kind of hovering outside, a bit unsure whether to go in, and I stepped outside and kind of spoke to you, and then you came in, and I think you're probably the last one to leave. So tell us a little bit about the writing community and the support you've received.
Yeah, no, I'll start with the fact that I'm really grateful for it. I wouldn't have produced these books if it hadn't been for the support that I'd had from everyone. And that started with the Bournemouth Writing Festival. So very grateful to you, Dominic, for dragging me in. I was a little bit apprehensive. It was first time stepping into that world, and I didn't know anyone there. So no, I really appreciate that. And yeah, you introduced me to people who are experienced writers, and experienced children's writers as well. And talking to them, understanding the process they went through, was a really good start for me to know what I had on the road ahead of me. I also met a few people from a group called Doppelganger Dialogues, and they've been brilliant. They have reading sessions every month, and I was going along to those and reading the gherkins, getting great feedback from some really great writers. So that was really helpful. Beyond that, I have to thank my wife. She's been brilliant. She's been very helpful reading every draft and making comments. So thank you, Kirsty. She's done a great job there. And I've had quite a few other people that have been beta readers that, they've given me feedback on characters, given me feedback on storyline, suggested where they'd like things to go as well. Even some of them have given me full plot ideas. So it's quite surprising how everyone's really helpful, which is brilliant.
I'm so glad that I went out and spoke to you and dragged you in, I suppose. But and that's what this community is all about. And it is daunting to go to an event, a writing event, where you don't know anyone, and maybe you feel like you're not a writer, or it's particularly those right at the beginning of their writing journey. And I'm always so excited to meet new people and those that are brave enough to kind of step over that threshold and say, do you know what, I am a writer and I'd like to meet other writers. Because the way I see it is non-competitive. The people there are all kind of writers and want to help each other and support each other, and you never know where those conversations go to. So I'm so glad that you went to Doppelganger Dialogues as well. That's brilliant. Yeah,
no, they've been fantastic. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So what's next for you, Robin? Where are you hoping to take your writing, and what's next?
Well, next will be book number 4. That'll be starting very soon. That will be called On the Grapevine. it's about a bunch of grapes that go around spreading rumours everywhere and dealing with the consequences. We'll keep it at that, I think.
That is brilliant. Oh, my mind just is buzzing with ideas just from those few words you said. And my last question I have to ask you: do you and your son like gherkins? Because my kids hate them.
Really, no. We all love them. I can imagine, and part of this sort of story of the gherkins is that I think there's a lot of people that have got a jar of pickles in the back of their fridge untouched, not sure what to do with them.
Yes, we definitely have one of those. Okay, Robin Lee, thank you so much. So Robin is the author of Gherkins on the Sauce. Check out the website. It's gherkinsonthesource.com, I think it is. Is it, Robin?
.co.uk.
.co.uk, sorry about that. So yes, thank you so much, Robin, for joining me today. And to everybody else, thank you for listening and watching us. And as I said, hoping to release one of these every Monday evening with a new local writer, author, or writer professional. So until then, hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.